glad to see we have a nice crowd here for our first meeting of the new year. Let's stand for Reverend Glenn is going to lead us in prayer. Then we're going to say the pledge of allegiance.
Father, thank you again for this day, for all your blessings. We simply ask, Lord, that you be with us, that you would guide us in every decision we make. Lord, you quicken our spirit, we know what's best and know what's your will. We ask you these things, Father, in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Here.
Mr. Pollock,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Ms. Cole,
Here.
Mr. Key.
Here. Before we move to citizens' comments, just so everyone will know who's sitting at the table, if you would, Doug, if you would introduce our attorney, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. So Clint McCahill came on at the first of the year on January 1st, and he'll be serving as our city attorney. We have him under contract for the next 6 months, and we're actually under RFP bid for our permanent, which I'm sure he'll apply for as well. But I'd like to welcome Clint McCahill.
Well,
Thank you very much. Very excited about joining the team here.
there you go. Citizens' comments. I think everyone knows from the faces I see, we know the rules. Podium's open for those that have if it's an agenda item, please wait until that agenda item comes up. If not, are there any citizens' comments? No, sir. Doesn't need to come up front. We need to know your name.
Tommy Reese, Colorado Drive, Mayor, Council. Hey, I just want to say thank you. There's the our lieutenant back here. No, nobody said anything since he had the movie Under the Palms, but that was pretty cool. And the city came up. You guys helped out. There was a popcorn man here, made good popcorn. But thank you for the sheriff's department. That was really kind of neat. And I'm looking forward to more of it. I know Doug said when he gets the other parks done, he's looking at bringing stuff up there and having the bands back again and everything else. New year, it's going to be a new Great Mansfield Beach. Thank you for what you've done last year.
Thank you, Rob. Pick your check up after. Thank you, Rock. Appreciate that.
You got one that wants to come up.
Oh,
He's not
I'm
sure.
sorry. Oh, come on.
You got to come. There you go.
Oh, I got it.
You do.
How are y'all this morning?
Good.
Today.
I would like to thank you for the audience that you provide and letting us come up and say stuff, but my story is I own a house on one.
Your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. My name is Michael Folsom. My address is 1095 Old Union Road, Adel, Georgia. I had a house on 106 Circle Drive. My story is like most of the rest. We had bought, in-laws had owned the house for 10 years. Prior to that, we've been coming to Mexico Beach for over 30 years. So Mexico Beach is a home to us. We had renovated the house. Memorial Day weekend, we got through. As you know, everything, what happened after that, our house wound up on Joe Rogers' land on the canal.
Mr. Folsom, I hate to interrupt you for just 1 second. Mr. Mayor, he's here related to an item on the agenda for the RV ordinance.
Oh,
I didn't know if that was coming up. I didn't want to
it's
miss
on
my
the agenda.
opportunity.
So if you would, you'll have an opportunity.
Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you very much.
I didn't know where that was.
When he said his name, that's what I...
Other citizens' comments on non-agenda items? Okay? We will move on. All right, Tammy, on this next item, we're going to call and talk to Jill. Is that correct? All right, just before we start, you can see this is, many of you recall, we had the insurance. We hired a contractor to insurance adjuster to help us with our insurance.
Hello, this is Jill.
Hi, Jill. This is the City of Mexico Beach.
Hello, how are y'all?
We're well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. I have you guys, I have Bliss Young on the phone too.
Hi, guys.
All right, and who? Jill and who?
Bliss Young, she's one of the owners of our company and she's who worked your claim.
Okay. The floor is yours. We have in front of us a draft discussion, policyholders release. So, and that's all we have.
Okay, well first I'd like to just thank you guys for letting us represent the city. We've enjoyed working with you guys and enjoyed the process. Unfortunately, these things take longer because of the magnitude of the storm and the magnitude of the damage, but we really appreciate working with the city on these matters. So I'm going to let Bliss talk to you guys about the status and where we're at on the claim and the monies that are left to be paid on the claim.
Okay.
Hi, you guys. I know that there are several of you that haven't been, on the council for the entirety of the claim. So just kind of a quick overall recap is what I'll start with. Obviously Michael happened in October of 18, and YPA was actually hired in November of 2019, so a little over a year after the storm actually went through. At that time when we were hired, the city had been paid just over $2.7 million for the damages, and since we were hired, we've gotten a little over 1.2 in additional funds paid out to the city. A little over $1 million of that was pretty early on, and it was mostly for it was the City Hall building, I believe. Let me get my spreadsheet to go back up. Tell you exactly. Bear with me just a second. I'm sorry, it was the Water and Maintenance Department that first big chunk after we got involved was negotiated. Since then, I know one of the big things in the claim that the city was worried about when we got involved was the pier, and prior to our involvement, the insurance carrier had just completely denied coverage for it. That was a really hard battle, and we only ended up getting about $85,000 paid on that, but there was a coverage issue. I'm not sure if any of you remember or were aware of that, but basically the policy that was in place when the storm happened only covered the extension on the end of the pier. It did not cover the entire thing. So we were working with a pretty minimal amount there. And then we were also kind of battling with the wind versus wave action on what actually caused the damage, because wave action causing damage is not something that the policy covers, but wind is. So that's how we kind of landed on that $85,000, and it's been probably a year and a half maybe since that was all paid out and was explained to the council then. So I'm not sure if you need any more information on that or not, but if you do, let me know. So that was the next payment that was issued, and this last one that's kind of on your table right now, that $100,000 release. It basically includes about $24,000 in depreciation that was applied to City Hall for the repairs that you guys had already completed. Another $30,000 for some temporary pump stations that had not been paid previously to you guys, and then basically an extra $45,000 because the carrier just wants to be finished. They want us to just sign off. This is all. Sign off on this, we'll give you the $45,000 to basically settle and close the claim. The only thing that was kind of outstanding is the depreciation that was applied to several of the other locations, and that was basically off the table. Per the policy, you only have 2 years from the date of the loss to recover those. And I know the city kind of has it planned over several years to make a lot of the repairs, so that that depreciation is pretty much off the table anyway. So this is kind of the last amount that we have to offer is that $100,000. So I know that was a lot of information all at once. So I'm here to answer any questions that you guys have or concerns.
Okay, thank you. This is Al. When y'all took this on, what was the projected, what did you ask for that we didn't get?
Let me pull up our file. There were a lot of things that were already done prior to our being hired that were already finished and taken care of. So I don't have really a projection of what we thought the total should be, because there were so many things that were already handled, and so we did not kind of get involved in. So I don't know that I'll be able to accurately answer that, to be perfectly honest. I know that the water and maintenance department was one of the things that we handled with you guys or for you guys, and the city hall, we did a lot of negotiating on that as well. Probably about half of the pump stations and the pier. And it, like I said, we came in kind of halfway through after the claim had already been ongoing for about a year. So there's just so many aspects of the claim that were already handled. I don't think I can give you an accurate answer to that question. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe a better question for me then, based on you handling and negotiating with our insurance people, what is your recommendation?
My recommendation would definitely be to take the $100,000. The big ticket items that we were hired to negotiate were negotiated and settled months ago, i.e. the water department and the city hall and the pier. Those were the main things, and then getting the rest of the pump stations paid for. Those things have already been done. The only thing outstanding would have been that depreciation, but like I said, the policy has already expired on that. So you're kind of there's no getting that. Okay. The $30,000 in the remaining pump stations is included in that $100,000 offer, and the $24,000 and change of depreciation on the Welcome Center is included in that $100,000 offer. And then, like I said, the rest of the money is in that. The $45,000 is basically to just here's a little bonus. We know that depreciation was not recovered, but let's just settle and close this. The carriers basically money dealing with us because they're paying all of their people to keep handling the claims, so they just want to let's get this settled. And their initial offer was, I believe, 20, and we were able to negotiate them to 45. So I think that's as high as they're going to go.
How much was the depreciation?
I don't know.
How much, are you asking how much was the depreciation that is expired?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a little over 200,000. And that basically, if you don't know what depreciation is, because sometimes I don't talk in layman's terms, but it's basically money that, okay, so they estimate, just for example, if they estimate, $200,000 to a building is what it's going to cost to repair it. Well, we're going to withhold depreciation on that building of, $50,000, and then when you get the repairs done, you get that depreciation back. So that's kind of what, it's just a withholding, but like I said, you have, for the policy, that's only 2 years to recover all of that, which is why the Welcome Center is included in the $100,000, because it was already done within the 2 years. And the carrier has basically said no to the rest.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? Okay, Liz. Yeah, and all this has been going on a long time, and some of the it's difficult for everyone in this room that had to deal with insurance people to know that how difficult that can be. So,
Certainly. Yeah, and I'm, you know, Roy is the primary owner of the company, and he is the one who went to Mexico Beach and inspected all of the places for you guys and met with the city, and he has handled the bulk of the claim. Unfortunately, he's in deposition this morning, so he's not able to be here, but, you know, he put a lot of work into this, and, it's, you know, like you said, insurance claims are always difficult, and it's always for us, it's always kind of a chess match,
Right.
which is kind of why we've gone at this piece by piece, you know, not to, overwhelm them and trying to get as much out of them as we can, but, you know, he and I both have discussed it and reviewed the whole claim, and, like I said, all of the negotiating that was already completed, so the only thing left on the claim at all, other than those pump stations, which is in the $30,000 in pump stations, which is included in this $100,000 offer. Everything else was solely depreciation, which is no longer on the table. So he and I both definitely agreed that the $100,000 offer as a final payment is fair, considering.
okay. All right, just maybe for the record, we negotiated, we city, then things didn't work well. We hired public adjusters, YPA, these folks, and they did, in the big scheme of things, they did pretty well for us, considering what the city has been able to do. So if there's no more questions, what we will then, this is before us to accept, we'll be back in touch and let you know something, Liz. How's that?
Okay, that's great. And if you guys do accept, just let me know so that I can get a draft, or not a draft, a finalized version of that release, because I believe the one you guys have at hand says draft on it.
It does.
Yeah.
We will.
So.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, and if you have any other questions, you know, that you think of later on or whatever, just feel free to email us or call us back, whichever you prefer. And like Jill said earlier, we've really appreciated and enjoyed working with you guys, with the city.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Okay. So we have before us a $100,000 closeout for Hurricane Michael with city insurance. Questions, comments, motion to accept, do something different.
All this time, I think that's probably gonna be about the best we're gonna be able to do. So I'd like to make a motion to accept $100,000.
Can I ask our attorney, Clint, right?
Yes.
No way you can argue that depreciation. I mean, they kind of shut the policy down before you could even actually have a chance to fix that stuff. So, you know, based on the amount of work that was done and everything, there's no way that you can argue you got to cover this depreciation past with the policy.
I mean, there's always a way to argue things. It doesn't appear though, and I don't know much of the background of this that's gone on for the last 3 years, but I did speak to your prior city attorney and discuss this with him, and it was his feeling that this was a good deal. This was basically about all you're going to get, and that the policy exclusion that they had for 2 years on the depreciation was a legitimate policy provision. So you can always make arguments.
Well, it just seems unfair when we're dealing with money that we got to get from FEMA and other sources to fix the stuff, and we're waiting on them. So it's not like we sat around. I'm just saying it's just a shame that we're having to settle for $46,000 out of $200,000.
Yeah, well, that might be something in the future that insurance policy, we look at that provision and get more time, especially when dealing with disaster type situations.
Yeah, under-
That take years to resolve.
Under a catastrophic type situation like Michael does, it seems like that should be, okay, that's my own comment.
Okay,
And I'll second the motion.
we have a motion and a second to accept. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. Key.
Yes.
All right, Doug or Clint, somebody will get back to these folks and give them whatever final, whatever form they have to have it in.
Yes, sir, we'll take care of it.
I think she's just gonna take, I've read this and this release seems fine. I think she's
She's just gonna remove the draft?
The draft thing.
Okay, fair enough. All right, moving to our regular agenda. Number one is a replat request for 3rd Street and Tennessee Street. Do we have pretty clear cut? We'll have a public hearing.
At P&Z last night, Mayor, they approved it, the P&Z council.
P&Z approved.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Floor is open for public hearing. Anyone here to speak for 3rd Street and Tennessee Street? Replat combination 2 lots? No? Okay. Close the public hearing. Discussion at the table. Questions, comments, motions? This is, shows he's gonna put a house on the 3rd Street, facing the 3rd Street, or at least it's shown on the, drawn in, it doesn't, it's gonna have one big lot.
I think they already got a house, but this is going to go on a lot. Well, it looks.
Yeah, that's correct. I think you're, yeah, that is correct. So, P&Z approved. I assume it's staff recommendation also.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion we accept the replat.
205 3rd Street.
205 3rd Street and 204 Tennessee.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Call the roll.
Mayor Kathy.
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. Key.
Yes.
Number 2 is another lot combination on 41st Street. Some of those small, what I call townhome lots. We will open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak to 41st Street?
P&Z council also approved this one.
No? Close the public hearing. Move the table. Our information shows the location and even shows the house. We've seen that, reviewed that, is our P&Z approved, staff recommends, so any questions? Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion we accept the replat request for 107 47th Street, A and B.
Second.
Have a motion second. Call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. Key.
Yes.
Okay, number 3 is a lot split request at 404 Maryland. P&Z's recommendation?
P&Z denied the request based on conforming lots and the size of the lots in the surrounding area.
Okay. Anyone public hearing? Anyone to speak to 404 Maryland? Come on up, Grace. Be careful.
Be careful.
Hey, Connie.
504 Maryland Boulevard, Connie Reisinger. I spoke to planning and zoning last night. As some of you know, we've had this issue come up several times in the past 20 years. I bought my lots in 2000, built a home there. And the reason why I chose that area is because of the large lots. We've got from 5th Street to Texas, Georgia to 15th Street, that big section is all large lots. And I'd be willing to bet money that anybody that lives in there currently are full-time residents, and they bought back there because this is a nice quiet place there for us to live our life, what we plan for all of our life. And we don't want to see lots split up into 50 foots. We like it stable there. And on the other side of 5th Street, going to the east, is the same situation. Those are larger lots. So I'm asking you to please consider denying this request to split those lots. Now, some of the emails you got, they're all very close to where this is being requested. And I'm only 4 houses from this lot that they're wanting to split. So, with that being said, please consider those of us that live here full time. This is where we chose to live back there where it's nice and quiet, kind of out of all the tourist part, and we'd like to remain that way. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before the P&Z meeting yesterday, we received 8 emails that requested the denial of that lot split, formally requesting via email that went to P&Z last night.
Those should be part of the public hearing record.
The 8, yes, sir. Tammy has those.
Okay. Yes. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mayor, Council, Rod Fruit, South Colorado Drive. Just what Connie said, 1,000% exactly. I bought my lot in Colorado. It's 0.36 acres. I don't want that split. Nobody back there wants these lots split. We all want the lots because of the size of them. And, you know, looking at everything that's on your planning and everything, I'm still a little confused on one thing. But you have general housing and you have low density. You have the same requirement for both of them, which is, I think, 6 lots per acre. So on 0.36, you could split it by 2. I got 6 lots across the street from me between Colorado and 7. That's another 12 houses can go in there if you split them up. And you got another one coming up here, the same deal. And some of them are going to be what I addressed in the email to all of you, rentals, with people not living here. I sent you all an email about that, and this is what's going to be happening here. People can't afford these prices anymore. And you're coming in, you're buying these lots, and they want to split them so you can build 2 houses or rent them out so they can afford their mortgage payments. 5 years ago, it was unheard of. Who's paying $300,000 for 1970 mobile homes that's 900 square feet falling apart? That's what's happening now. And they can't afford it. So all these vacation homes, they're no longer just vacation homes. They're becoming vacation home rentals. And I guarantee you, just like Connie said, everybody who lives here full time, we don't want this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa Logan, 402 Maryland. I live next door to this lot that wants to be split. And I've been fighting lot splits for 20 years next door to me. Our subdivision, this is the original plat. All of them are 0.33 of an acre or larger in our little subdivision. We bought them, as Connie and Rockman said, because we live there permanently, and we wanted the extra room. If I had wanted to live among 50-foot lots, I'd have bought on Highway 98. I wrote in my email to y'all, I hope you read it, that of these 23 lots in our little subdivision right here, over the past 40 years, those 23 lots combined have sold over 100 times, and not once were the lots split. Which proves that the people who are buying and selling, and those of us who live here, understand that those lots were platted large, and we would very much like to keep them that way. So keep in mind that when we bought our lots, we expected to be surrounded by what we purchased, and that is the larger lots.
Anyone else? Close the public hearing, move to the table. Questions, comments? I just say I agree with all three of them. Lot splits have not been a traditional way of this city that we have tried to go. In the last 20 years, lot splits have been very difficult to come by if they're platted that way. Comments or motion?
I make a motion that we deny the plat request.
Replat.
The replat request, lot split for Bailey Lane. I'm on the wrong one. I'm so sorry. The replat request denied for the lot split into two parcels on 404 Maryland Boulevard.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any further comments or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Okay. Number 4, Bailey Lane, a request to split. Open public hearing. Is there anyone here, I assume, before we do, what's the P&Z recommendation?
P&Z recommend denying. Also, we received 2 emails in to deny, requesting you guys to uphold the denial for the lot split. It does not meet the conforming lots of the surrounding Bailey Lane plat.
Anyone here to speak? Yes, sir.
Rockford, Colorado. I was going to emphasize again, here's Bailey Lane. And that lot was owned by the guy who owns the house next to me, who now rents that out and is trying to sell it. And he bought that lot, and within a month, it got sold to a builder. So why is the builder splitting the lot? I mean, nobody buys a lot for a certain price, clears it, and then resells it to a builder. That's going to be 2 lots put in there, and I guarantee you, Bailey Lane is only a couple blocks right here on the beach. There'll be 2 more renters. And it doesn't fit the neighborhood. That place is just like where we live. They're all 0.36 acre lots. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Close the public hearing. Anyone?
All I want to say, I reckon the Rock is, I do know the man. He's not, if he's a builder, I didn't know he was, and he lives across the street. I'm not saying I'm for it against him, but your information, I don't know where you got yours from, but he does live across the street from Bailey Lane.
Okay. Any other comments from the table? Motion?
Make a motion, we deny Bailey Lane replat lot split. Don't have an address.
Yeah, this is Bailey Lane.
Yeah. Do we have a motion? Is there a
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comments? Call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Before we leave this, I want to make, because it's appropriate, I talked to Doug yesterday. There is a list of illegal lot splits that is on, that has, and when I'm going back to And the city went into the lawsuit with Joe, Bush over lot splits. I believe it was 04. I could be wrong about the date, but it was back there. That list, those people at the time, the owners, were sent certified letters notifying them that their lots were split. They went to the county, had them split. We knew nothing about it. That's when You Build It Will Come was all going on, and similar to what Rock is defining about now. Those lots that are on that list should not be given a development order approval without them going through the process. They were notified of that. Now, so the building department needs to know, you need to know, if you're going to sign an approval and that lot's on that list, then this city spent a lot of money in that lawsuit to prove that lot splits were not just something you show up at the county for. So you may not, you're aware of it now, you're aware of that list.
I wasn't until yesterday, sir.
I understand.
I got a copy of the letter, and the building department had it, and
I just want you and the building department to coordinate that those lots are not to be issued development orders on because they weren't split according to the LDR.
Understood, yes, sir.
That's
I
important.
appreciate the info yesterday as well.
Have any of those been built on already?
No.
I was told they were. This morning, before I got to this meeting, I was told they were. That I don't have the number, but there's got to be coordination between the building department and the person approving the development order that there is a list. And I think some did. I don't want to say, but James is here, Mike can speak to that, but I'm not sure.
I have 6 of them on that list. And
As of this morning, we looked, and there was 2 of them that were issued permits.
And that was based on a split, so they were issued a permit on one half of it or whatever?
Yes, sir. There was 2 of them that they're actually in progress, and
Right now?
yes. And what appears to me has happened, we've got a lot of faces that have changed, and they just slipped through the cracks. I don't know what to say about it.
Okay. I don't know. What do we say about it, Mr. Clint?
We'd have to look at it, and if it's something that we need to do to go in and have them bring those lots back together. In the court case, was there a judgment saying that they illegally split those lots?
Yes.
And that they need to be put back together?
No, they ruled in favor of the city that the LDR was violated and that the lot splits, we didn't have to honor them. They didn't say that they had to go combine. They
Meaning
just
when
said
you
they,
issue any kind of building permit or anything, you don't have to put one
no,
for
we
each
don't
one.
have to honor that. That's not considered a buildable lot. But, James makes a good point. Like I say, I found out this morning. That's why I brought it up. Not only at the meeting, just we're talking about it. We went through, I don't know how many, it
A
was
lot of
a
time and a lot of
lengthy
money.
lawsuit. But we were trying to prove the point that these people got up to that podium and talked about, that their neighborhoods and their lots that they bought, that you just couldn't run over to the county and do it, and we're supposed to issue permits for it. So, James, I think, like you said, put it on the wall. Doug's got a copy of it, and I don't know the answer legally. I don't know what you do now. The houses are under construction.
In the meantime,
It would be contentious.
let me review that final judgment, see exactly what it said, and we'll see what options.
Maybe maybe look at that. But we need to honor that.
Well, it's still possible that because we only issued a permit for the one half of that was split.
No, we didn't issue.
The building permit did. The building
It's on the other side. The other lot,
They haven't done anything with the lot that's not being built on.
well, we don't know. It's owned by somebody anyway.
But it,
Well, it sounds like you won the lawsuit, but what are the remedies that you get
Well, exactly.
because
That's
of
what-
winning the lawsuit?
that's
And
right.
that's what I think I need to look into
Okay.
and see what we can do.
That's where I think we lost, the train got off the track.
Okay.
What did you win when
Well,
you
now
won
that,
lost?
now that it's, I think it's surfaced. And I'm disappointed that it surfaced after the fact, at least on 2 of those. But Clint, if you would, if you'd pull that up and just
I'll see what our options are.
see it. Okay.
The address, can I have your address later?
What's that?
What the address is?
James will get
James got it, just maybe after, you're talking about the 2 that are, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir. The 2 that's
Do
under
you have
construction,
them?
right? I don't have them with me.
Yes, but they got them over at the Bill Farm. I didn't get them either, they said they were coming. Okay, number 5.
You good? You ready?
RV, this is the second reading of the ordinance 778, which deals with the RV. Public hearing for the, whoever, you ready? Come on.
Hello, my name's Gary Hitt. I own a lot on 805 Maryland. I've owned that lot since 94. Had a residence there since 95. Unfortunately, I retired in 2018, the same year that y'all know what happened. Bad weather hit. I lost everything. At that time, it was a second home. FEMA didn't help me. But we have all had very little insurance, which is nothing compared to what I had. Well, I'm in the process, or been in the process. In fact, it was January a year ago, I talked to a builder here that helped me. Got plans up. Got all the plans, engineering, starting January, about April, got everything about together, and I'm ready to turn it in, and that's when it changed from, and I did want to build lower because it saved money. Y'all went to the 100-year flood, I appreciate that, that's going to help me a lot. So I had to get a topo reading, they said. That took me a little over 2 months by the time they got it surveyed and I got the paper. So I get ready to turn the permits in. I had a couple of things I didn't have. I get them turned in. Finally, right at 2 months later, we made a phone call to get my permits back. Haven't been touched. So a friend of mine, Dave Bo Creel, called him. I had him in 2 days. Same thing happened to one of my neighbors. They had to call him to get it. So here it is, the end of October, I finally get permits. I'm ready to build. I've already got my batter boards up. My rebar's supposed to be here next week. But a lot of the work I'm going to do myself after I get it framed up. And I need to bring my RV down here because I'm 175 miles away. I'm not asking to park it there right now. I will wait till I'm approved. I'll get a foundation laid, a flooring laid, and start up right. I just know when I get to that point, I will need my RV down here. I'm just asking mercy on this council to consider that, what I've been through. I would have been building and all that, but I got to leave, like I said, getting the topo reading and then taking so long to get the permit back. But I just, and if I need to wait, like I said, I start, get the foundation, which I hope should be in a couple of weeks, and start getting it dried in, and then, but after that, I'm going to do a lot of the work myself, and I do need my RV down here, because like I said, I'm 175 miles away. Wanting to retire, like I said, I intended when I did retire after 37 years of business to move down here, but I'm just, right now we're just on Social Security stuff. It's hard. I won't bring on for these mobile home parks here or camper areas and money that I could be putting into a house to have built, a nice house to live in. So So I'm just asking for y'all to be considered on my request. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
What was your name, please, sir?
Gary.
My name's Darrell King.
Gary Head, I live next door to James Lyon.
Yeah. Gary, how long you reckon it's gonna take you to do your part?
I less than a year, I hope, with everything, you know. I'm going, like I said, I got a builder here that's gonna help get me dried in and all, and then I'm gonna do a lot of the inside work, but that's all I'm asking, if we can just, you know, give us 6 months, you see that I'm trying, working hard, you know, if I need a few extra months, that's all I'm asking, just allow, you know, I can understand what y'all run into, no doubt about it.
Yes, yes, sir.
And that's completely understandable, but if you see people like me that's far away and haven't got another place to stay down here.
Sure.
Except with Jen or a neighbor of mine, you know, that you don't mind staying there once in a while, but I don't wanna be, if I wanna come there and work a week, I wanna be here when I stay a week and work, you know, and that's all I'm asking. It's just, I guarantee you'll see some quick improvements while I'm down here, you know, but me driving back and forth, that's a 6-hour ride there and back, you know.
Right. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Buddy Purvis. I own a lot at 803 Maryland. And I've been coming down here since the 1990s. To be honest with you, I spent quite a money in this area. I frequent every motel that's here many times. But I finally got in a position so I could buy me a place down here. And I bought it about 6 years ago. And you would say why I'm along, but it's nice to me. And, you know, of course, it got messed up in Hurricane Michael. And so we lost everything we had, and insurance doesn't pay nothing because it's older model mobile home. So everything's on me. No help from FEMA because secondary home. And just like Gary, I retired in 2018. And my plans was to move here. Well, time I get everything straightened out, then Michael ruined all those plans. So I'm building also. I've already got all the permits. I got a builder here that's going to help me with the foundation. But most of the building, I'm going to do it myself. My son is a builder. He's a contractor. I'm from Albany, Georgia, and that's where my son lives. So I'm like Gary, I need a place to stay. I can't pay no $1,200, $1,400 a month to stay in an RV lot. I mean, I wish I did have the money, but I don't. And I'm on retirement. And, you know, like I say, when your budget is very low, that's mine. But I've made plans to get everything done. Mortgage loan and all that stuff, I have no problem with that. And I just want some time, like Gary spoke, just to put my travel trailer. I got a big 36-foot fifth wheel. That would give me a place to stay. And my son, he's going to bring his crew once they'll get the foundation done, which I'm working on that now. And you know, in 2-3 weeks' time, they'll have it put up, dried in, windows, doors, everything, and waiting just to put a roof on it. I mean, they'll have it dried in, the roof on. So I'm sure within less than a year, I should have my house completed. But I just need somewhere to stay. I don't have friends down here.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I spoke to Mr. Cathy about building materials for it. We got a quote from them. So I'm dead serious, you know. And I can understand about all the travel trailers and campers coming in. They don't look good. But if you got somebody that is willing to build, and like I say, I don't care if it's 3 months at a time or 6 months at a time. Just give me a few months and then come investigate and look and, you know, see what we've completed. And if y'all happy with it, that's good. Maybe I can keep my camper there till not. If not, no, you got this. No, you need to move. You haven't got enough done on your house. And I I just hope y'all have some meetings on us, because, like I said, we've been coming here a long time. And I love it down here. I love the fish here, you know. When I retired, me and my wife was coming down, oh shoot, we'd stay 10 days, whatever we wanted. And then we go back home. We was trying to get everything in order to move. But we come here all the time. And I try to support local stuff around here. That's like the pier. I don't know exactly what's going on with the pier. If it's just going to come to the pier, they started a GoFundMe thing. You know, something like that. But I just appreciate y'all listening to me, hearing me out, and just hope you'll help us. I mean, we're not trying to pull no wool over nobody's eyes. This is legit. I'm definitely going to build a house.
Thank you, buddy.
That's
Thank
coffee
you.
up. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yes.
Okay, floor still open. Yes, sir.
Thank you again for listening to us. They said they're my story. The thing is...
Name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Michael Folsom, 106 Circle Drive, Mexico Beach. My story is like your story. Your first agenda item was insurance. As a bunch of people's problems down here, we just settled with insurance. Why have I not done anything? Because we just settled with insurance. So at that point, I've gotten in touch with a contractor to look at building our house back. I've worked for the city of Ada for 41 years, so I understand where you're at with the situations that you got going on. But we purchased an RV because in the past, it was, the ordinance or whatever it was, said you could do this. So with that being said, we've already purchased an RV. I'm working with a contractor, Thad Williams, who's from my hometown actually, and looking at trying to get the permits. We've already got the plan, I've got it. Looking to get the engineering and then doing the drilling because we're having to go up where we're at. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at. My request is that you continue to provide permits for someone that had a house. I understand if you're saying that what the reason, what this was, or somebody didn't have a house, or yada, yada, yada. But in this situation, I mean, I know that you don't want permits of RVs just everywhere. I understand that. I understand that. My neighbor, Bill Driver. Bill Driver's on the building and zoning board. Bill and Janet, I mean, I talked to them last week. They don't have a problem with an RV there. I mean, I talked to them about it, because it's not permanent. It's something that my taxes are over $3,000 a year for dirt, for sand. We don't have the money to continue $800 to $1,000, $1,200 a month to come down and rent a place or whatever. So, you know, my question or my request to this council would be, you know, just, there's other ways to do it. I don't know. I talked to Mr. Pollock, talked to Mr. Smith, and I talked to the city manager about this last week. Trying to come to some resolve again, because we purchased it. I had no idea till Thad Williams called me and said, I got some bad news for you. I said, well, that's what I'm used to, bad news. What is the bad news? And he told me, and I said, you've got to be kidding me. So, I mean, I didn't see this coming. I guess y'all probably didn't see this coming either. But again, the point is I don't want to downgrade anybody's property. That's not what I want to do. I want to upgrade property. But we just need some help to do that while we're building a house. And as soon as the house is built, we gone. I mean, as far as the RV, that's all we're at. So, I mean, this morning I made a trip, got up at 5 o'clock to come down here to present my case to you. So, thank you for the opportunity to come to you and talk to you about it. But I would hope that, again, that you could request or there could be some way to work out where it could help in this situation.
Are you going to do some of your building yourself?
I probably will. I mean, Thad may handle it all.
You think you're going to be within a year?
Yes, but here's the problem. I mean, everything you know, Mr. Cathy knows. I mean, you're looking at building products going up. You're looking at windows taking 8 months to get here. I mean, I can't help that. We would have been in this process again. As you talked about, you lost some of your money because of time.
Sure.
I had to hire an attorney too. I didn't get a public adjuster, so I lost 40%. So we settled for pennies on the dollar with our homeowners insurance. So did we get enough to build back under the market today? By no means. But by the same token, we're trying to start the process, and so that's where we're at. And we just need some help to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Others?
Lisa Logan, 402 Maryland. I'm in a similar situation. I spoke at the December 14th meeting, which, by the way, is when this was suddenly sprung on us with no warning. And I'm in the middle of the process working with the state agency to get my home fixed. I do not know if they're going to make repairs to my mobile home. I've already had to turn down the offer of a new one. So they haven't decided, but they keep saying we're working on it. If they have to move me out in order to make the repairs, I have no place to go. We were planning to put me in a camper on my lot if it's necessary. If I can't put a camper on my lot to get the storm damage repaired to my home, I'm out of luck. So there's a very easy solution to this. All you have to do is put a sentence in this ordinance that says people who are in the process working with insurance and state agencies to repair storm damage can still put campers on the lot while the work is in progress. Then no one else can be allowed to bring new campers in if they're not in the process. But we are already in the process, and it's like working with a three-legged turtle. It's that slow. So we can't speed up the process. But we should have the same opportunities to continue to make the repairs on our home, and if necessary, live in the campers there while we're doing it, as all of the hundreds of people who have been able to do this in the last 3 years. We're still citizens of this town, and we still need to have the same benefits as the others did. It's not our fault that the process is so slow. So please just put a sentence in this ordinance that says, and if we have to register with the city, that's fine too. Certain people who are in the process can continue to put campers on the lots while they're rebuilding storm damage. So just consider that. Thank you. I promise that's the last time.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'm not going to make any friends. Rob Cruz, Colorado Drive. We went round and round on this after the hurricane. Put a time limit on it right in the beginning for the people who live here. I drove 50 miles every damn day to have a place to live in an RV while my house got rebuilt after the hurricane. This is where I live. I had to have a place to live. I've lived in Florida since '67. I've moved all over Florida. It's very rare, unless you get up in an area like this, you can even have an RV or a boat at your house. Most places you have to put them in rental storage units. You can't do that. I mean, I'm sure Doug can tell you where he's moved from. You can't do that. RV thing, you let it drag on and drag on and drag on. You know, it's apples and oranges. You're living in a gutter because this is where you live. Every place I've ever went to, I bought a house or I had a house built. I didn't live in the backyard while it got built. It was built and I moved into it. That's all I'm saying. You're going to let this go. It's going to keep on going and going and going. And half the stuff that goes on around here is empty lots that never had anything on them. Why? You know, you made it for people who had no place to live. We got wiped out. There was nothing to do. When I moved here way before the hurricane, you only had a 6-month ordinance. I lived at Tyndall and down at East Point while my house got built. And then I brought my RV up here for like 2 months before I got the CO for my house. That was a 6-month limit way back when. And after the hurricane, then you did the thing with extended it. and it was just for one purpose only, for the people living here to have a place to live. Nobody has, the majority of the state, I'm telling you, if you go around and see all the communities, except all around this area, you don't go places with an RV and park in your backyard when your house is built and leave and come back a week later. That just doesn't happen. And you go around, you can see some of the stuff. Standing on the corner of Maryland and 5th Street, look at the house on the corner, the RV there. That's been probably used in 10 years. That's a lovely sight when you drive in 5th Street. And you're going to have a whole bunch of more of them going on here soon.
Anyone else? Public comment? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing. Move to the table. And open the discussion for, keep in mind the purpose of this discussion and public hearing is the second reading of the RV ordinance that we have discussed multiple times. So, floor is open for comment.
My comment is the same as it was at the first reading or whatever discussion of this thing. But these folks own property here, and I think that there's definitely a difference in how some people are going about it. Some people are milking the system, some aren't. I don't think that these folks that are sitting here are trying to milk the system. I can relate to their situations, and I think that it's appropriate that as a city, nobody's more tired of having this place look like a mobile home park than me. I think it's been over 3 years, but then again, there are extenuating circumstances where some people have really been working on it and they're just getting beat up. There's still people that you guys may have settled your insurance claim. There's people still dealing with it. And so I think it's wrong for us not to allow these people. I was a builder for a long time, and I know that there's a lot of information that you need to get from your homeowner if you're acting as the builder. These folks are going to do it themselves. So I think it's wrong for us not to allow these people to stay here while they're building. Most of them, well, all of them said that they're looking at a year. We were allowing 18 months from the time that they got started. I think there's a way for us to allow the certain amount of people to be able to do it and to eliminate the people that are taking advantage of the system.
Okay. Others?
Well, like I said,
Well, we're here now.
I see.
You've been there, we're here now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like I said at the last meeting, our concern that we first done this was to have a place for our citizens to be able to live after hurricane. I am not for somebody that just bought a lot to bring an RV in and try to build on. That is not the way we would want to do it in our city. At the same time, I think we ought to be tolerant towards people that still have problems. There should be some way we could work it out that with the people whose home was destroyed or haven't been worked on, to have something done. To just allow people to bring RVs in, I do not agree with. I think you have to have a good reason, where it's a home destroyed, not where you just bought a lot and you want to come and build and say you're going to build and have RVs sitting there for many years. I'm not for that. If we can look at some time limit, if we can look at, first of all, they got to show proof of what they had to start with. Not just somebody want to come in and build on a lot that, even though they didn't have anything on to start with. I don't believe in that. but as a home being destroyed, I think we ought to look at something about it.
Doug, can I ask you, do you think from a case-by-case basis that you'd be able to look at these situations, and if you think that there are situations that are valid, like the ones that were talked about today, they're all situations where I think we should help them. Like Bobby says, people coming down here and buying a lot and wanting to go ahead and put a mobile home, that's completely different. These people have invested in this place for a long time, and I think we're being, I wouldn't want to do it to me. I don't want to do it to these folks. I just think could you on a case-by-case basis look at it, and if you think that it's warranted, could we get it approved, or at least bring it to us and say, yeah, this guy's legit and this guy's not?
Well, if I do come back to the original I've said it recently, we have one code officer.
Yeah.
And the biggest reason for this is the fact that they continue to sneak in. Another one snuck in yesterday. We just found out this morning.
Sure.
So it's becoming hard to say who's got one here, who's got one here. I do empathize with all the people that spoke today about some of the issues that they have. If you guys direct me to work with them, if that's your direction, I'll come up with a plan and make sure it's a strictly watched procedure, and I can bring it for you for review, or you can set me some parameters if you'd like, and I'll manage it. I'm not going to tell you that I can't manage my job ever. So I'll get it done one way or another. It's just, what is the will of the council? If 3 years and a few months is enough, and they can go stay in an RV park, or if you want to charge some kind of fee where the city can make some money to help pay for additional code enforcement from these folks, then that's an option. But it's hard to have one code officer, 3 square miles and picking them out when they're sneaking in, cutting off the tops to our sewer lines, attaching their drains to them, running extension cords from other properties. It's becoming unmanageable. Not just the blights, but it's just unmanageable. There is a few still in action right now that have stickers on them that have the permits that we gave them. We didn't even charge for, because you guys have the goodness of your heart wanted them to help rebuild. We're kind of to the point where we need to know what to do, but I would be glad to manage it if I had to and bring it back to you with an options, or if you set parameters on some time frames, if it went at a 30-day at a time clip, or however you wanted to do, or a drop dead date for this policy to take effect. I would be glad to manage it for you. However, we do not have additional staff to put on top of it. It would be stretching the staff that we currently have even thinner. I just have to say that.
Well, anything else?
I have compassion for every one of these people that are trying to build that. Truly I do. It seems like we ought to be able to come up with something that we could do besides just saying that's it. And then you have the people sneaking in. So it's a very tough decision to make on this, and it has been 3 years, but I just hate to not have some kind of empathy for these people that had a home here and want to build back, and it's tough. I think we should try to come up with something else we could do. If it's going case by case, I don't, like you say, we don't have enough people to cover all that. It's just too much to have someone policing one code officer. It's too much for one person to police the whole city. But I do have empathy for these people. Truly I do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do too. I think if you just on the surface you look at what's been said today, you think, well, come on, help them out. And that's what we were trying to do for 3 years, and all we found is we sort of backed ourselves against the wall. And I struggle with campers, not the blight, but it's sort of the perception that when you ride through our town, and that's one of the things that we fought about changing this, was that we couldn't manage it and they were everywhere. And the thing is, they were everywhere. Doug brought it up, and I started paying attention to it more than I had been. About they were everywhere for a few days, they'd be gone, then all of a sudden you'd see them somewhere else. Not the same woman. They would pop up. And that's the managing part. Also, I struggle with when we said we were trying to help our citizens, and I respect the second homeowner here. I respect what you do, what you bring, that you're part of our town. I don't want to in any way, what I'm about to say, think that we don't as a city have a need for second homeowners. But putting mobile homes or campers for second homeowners was not my idea when we said we wanted to help our citizens. Our citizens are the people that are here every day, and it's their home. It's not their second home, it's their home. It's where they live. They don't have anywhere else to go. And having said that, I would like for those of you who got up here and spoke, and there may be others that are listening, I would like for this city to try to show that we appreciate what you're trying to do, because we need second homeowners here from a tax base. We need second homeowners because they support the people that they contribute to our city. If we just had to rely on the 1,000 people that live here, our city would struggle. So, I'm leaning toward trying to find a method. I don't know what it is. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what it is, because we have failed miserably prior to today. We just haven't been able to do a good job. But I'm willing to listen to a proposal, if you would, from you. And you've heard the people that have spoken today. We all have a grasp. I don't know of a city that needs to be more compassionate than we have been, given what has happened to us. But I can tell you, I would not support anything that is not as, and I know you, I don't know how clear cut you can make something, but if it requires a fee to support it, I'm talking about to manage it, we might want to look at that. If it requires, these all are very trusting. I mean, they look like good people that have walked up here and said, hey, I got a problem. But we know that there are those, and we've seen it. And so managing it there's got to be a plan. And I'm willing to listen to that instead of just close the door on it, but I'm not sure what it would be. So I'd be willing for you to come back to us and tell us, here's what I think we can do. And that's not what I've got to say.
It would help if you had the line in the sand like you're doing with the ordinance. And
well, that's the easy way.
And come back
that's
later.
The easy way.
Come back later with something separate. With
the line in the sand makes it easy. It doesn't help these folks, but it makes it easy. It makes James and Kathy and you, it makes everyone in the city, get out. Can't be here. I'm not sure I'm there. Because I understand what these folks are wanting to do, and I appreciate what they're trying to do. So I'd like to see if we can find a plan.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm through.
Is what you were saying is you'd like to pass this ordinance and cut it off, but then come back and revisit a proposal that would bring folks like these in. Meaning they had a lot here, they had a home here previously, prior to the hurricane. as opposed to just open season. I don't know exactly what ordinance 760 says. I didn't have a chance to review it, but
It allows them for 18 months while they're going vertical on their home, not to live in an RV.
just anybody, whether they had a house here prior to the
The
hurricane.
intent of it was for folks that had a home here prior to the storm.
Yes.
That's where all this
That was the
started.
intent.
So, and that's what it says.
That's the intent.
Go ahead, James.
I just wanted to offer something for a suggestion. And he talks about the manpower. Why not permit them through the building department for people that have had an existing home and have a placard on the RVs that is going to be easily identified by code enforcement or anybody driving by. It's going to, be reviewed through the building department through a fee, so that's not arbitrarily, having to have code enforcement run around and establish whether these are legit or not, and do it that way. And I think we could do the review, whether it's
Well, let me tell you.
whatever parameters you want to establish.
I think that after this meeting, that might be a discussion that staff could have and come up and bring us back something.
That's what I would.
Okay? But you're on the fringe of some things there. That's got potential. Go ahead, Jerry, I'm sorry.
No, I ain't got things to say. And Mr. Purvis, Mr. Heath, Mr. Folks, we have bad apples. This makes it hard on you, all three of you. We do. We give out permits to campers, and this guy's coming in and put 2 loads of dirt, and he's been here over a year and a half. That's not fair. That makes you look bad. That's why let's say you. Look at this situation. I want to help y'all more than you want to know.
Right.
But we've been 3 years and 3 months. We have excuses. Yes, I want to help you, and I think we in the right direction here. But to me, we need to let our city administrator. It's going to be a case by case. It's not a cut and dry, toe in the sand. And I guarantee you, 2 months down the road, somebody's going to come up here with something with another story. But we have to stop. There's got to be a cut-off line. There has to be a line drawn in the sand that says, okay, we've been this. And rock, they don't. Where do you find where people in any town around here where you can put a camp in your backyard and build a house? I'm rebuilding my house. I rented a house across the street, and I got a camp.
You got more money than I do. I'm just joking. Let me ask you this. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything or not.
It is unusual that you find in any municipality that you go and put a camper in your yard while you build a house. Now, that's not, but that is not normal. But not everyone has experienced what this little town has experienced.
Hurricane Michael.
And so that's the only reason I said what I said about all of a sudden rethinking it. The easy part is just pass this, case closed, done. I want to give us a chance. I want to see what we can do.
I really think that with Doug and with Kathy and with James, I believe we should come up with some solution. Let's don't. It might not benefit like you want it to benefit. Now, I know how it is. But you gonna do the work. You gonna do the work. But Michael's gonna do the work. I know that. It's not that. I think we need to really have a time limit. And I think you said it the best. Give me 30 days, or and what you did said, give me 30 days or 60 days. And if I'm not doing enough, then keep me out here. And I like you got my vote. You got my vote.
Well, that's fair. To me, that's the fair thing to do. If you drag it around.
And I know we're waiting on windows, and I know we're waiting on doors, and Hell, I waited on nail on electrical boxes. I had to go out of Georgia to get my body. You're just not that easy, but I do think once you start, I believe we should have somebody should monitor it. We don't have the personnel to do it. And you'd be surprised over on my end of town, on the other side of y'all, they move these campers in there on a Friday night and they move them out this Saturday, Sunday. So a bad apples really, it hurts me. Right. And I do want to help you, but I think, in my opinion, what the council is, I think when we come back or whatever we got to do, but we got to leave it to our city administrator to make these decisions.
Well, I think there should be a time limit. That gives the people that's building an incentive to get it done and not drag around.
I think a year and a half is too long.
Can we, would it be appropriate, I don't want to cut you off.
No.
Is it appropriate to just table until?
That could be one option, but one thing I wanted to bring up to you is if you get into this ordinance and you start adding little what ifs at the bottom, we don't want to do that.
Oh, no.
It gets just as messy. Like if I come back and say, the city administrator will review it on a case-by-case basis or something that goes into here, that makes it a little muddier than if you wipe that out and then I come back with a plan going forward. So that way we can get rid of the ones that have just been camping here for no reason, not building nothing, with trees that are bigger than.
I'm fine with that. I just want to see.
I just think that if you give me direction, for example, if you pass this ordinance and you give me direction to come back with a solution or an option or multiple options going forward, so we don't shut the door completely, I would be glad to do that, but I don't think it should be written into an ordinance. We could work it into our fee structure, we could work it into
I totally agree.
internal policies as
That's what I
opposed to
wanted
an
to ask.
ordinance.
All right, so before us is the second reading of ordinance 778. If it's just from my speaking, if we pass it, which we all know what that does, and then immediately after that we say, Mr. Administrator, come to us with a plan that we can give him some time to think, Kathy, James, whatever group he gathers up, and see, and let us, these folks know, the people watching this meeting know that we're going to see what we can do. That's a clear way to go, is that we pass it and then we instruct. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to set ordinance 778 second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please read.
Ordinance 778, an ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending section 150.04 of the City Code regarding use and storage of recreational vehicles to eliminate occupation of recreational vehicles during construction of residences, providing for severability, codification, and an immediate effective date.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 778.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes, if we fix it.
It's gonna happen there.
Okay.
I know it is.
Doug, I think you've heard enough dialogue that you need to come back to us, and we'd like to do that by the next meeting.
I'll get it quickly, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, moving on. Number 6. Second reading, second reading of ordinance 779, which is the amending the food truck. I think everyone we discussed that at our first reading. Nothing's changed here. Is there any comments or discussion, or we'll entertain a motion for reading by title only?
If there's no discussion, I'll make a motion we read ordinance 779 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please read.
Ordinance 779. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach amending the Land Development Code to allow food trucks in certain zoning districts and providing associated limitations repealing ordinances in conflict to the extent of that conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
I make a motion we approve ordinance 779.
Second?
Motion second. Any comments? Call the roll.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is Resolution 22-01, which is a resolution to repeal Resolution 21-42, which was voted down at the last meeting, and evidently our attorney, or Nick, when that was passed, there's a need to officially rescind that resolution. So the chair will entertain discussion or motion to read Resolution 22-01 by title only.
I make a motion we read resolution 2201 by title only.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Please read.
Resolution 2201, a resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, repealing Resolution 2142, which allows certain obstructions to remain within city right-of-ways and providing an immediately effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion we approve resolution 22-01.
Second?
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
No.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Number 8. This is the dredge.
Yes, sir.
Resolution. No, y'all, I think more that's you or?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit. I do have Ryan here from Atkins who can answer any questions that you may have. We put this item out to bid. We received a bid back, and of course, as you know, like everything else, the price has gone up. So we've taken the quote that we received for $688,000 for the new dredge. And Ryan is working with FEMA to try to get that number approved, or the process on how we're going to get that approved to pay for that.
Yeah, we're trying to get the scope. If you guys remember, this was the sand bypassing project originally that we decided not to do. It was 428 project. So we're asking to revise the scope. I think we've had scope amendments that we submitted to FEMA previously. It takes them a while to go through the process of approving. I submitted that about 3 months ago, I think, and the last ones took about 6 months to get all the way through. So I think it should be fine to do the new scope, and because it's a 428 project, we can borrow from other ones that we had underruns on. That's all I got. If you guys have questions about it.
I do want to bring it to the attention of the delivery time. So that's not a typo in the bid. I spoke to yesterday. It will not be here until 9 or 10 months from February 3rd, 2023. So we're talking Christmas of 2023 before we get the new dredge. So that was part of your direction previously, was to get this project going, to get the bid. We got the bid. Steel prices are through the roof, and as you know, and he wants to get it locked down as well. So we really need to move forward because it's just kicking it further down the road. Just so you know, last week Troy and Nick were dredging because the storm pushed to close up the canal. I don't know the words for it, but it busted. It was taking on sand, and they're working on repairing the one we have. It already had about 17 Band-Aids on it. So we're in dire need, and if that canal closes, it's like turning the water off, as Tommy's explained it to me in the city of Mexico Beach. So I recommend approval.
Now, Ryan, we had a little over $400,000 initially.
Yeah, that's what was in the sand
That
bypass.
was in the sand bypass system. We're going to ask for an amendment. Well, that's
So we're asking for an amendment to change what the scope is, because the 428 project, we can pull money
that
from
money from other projects.
428 projects. So as long as they approve the scope, we should be fine in terms of the dollar.
Well, say it much better than what Doug just said. We have outlived our little $300,000 dredge that Jesse Newell built for us. And we need to look at, I don't see any options but to, I mean, we have to have a piece of equipment. So,
Troy can just do so much.
excuse me?
Troy
Troy just, yeah, he's only a miracle worker so long. So, if Chair will entertain a motion or discussion. I mean, our packet is.
It's a lot bigger one. The specifications on this and what we've got it'd be a lot nicer, a lot bigger. Generators, the two twin John Deere motors now instead of the old motors we got on there.
Well, we've learned through the years. We should be, people ought to consult with us about dredging. We know how to do it.
We got to have it.
Okay, go ahead.
Excuse me now.
Can we use it to fish around?
The old?
Yeah, I mean, we could literally, I'm being very serious with it. We could give it to the Reef Association and let them put it in one of their deployments.
Well, in a year and a half, by the time we get this one, I don't know if they
Well, as long as they keep it, drag it out there somewhere.
I understand. Yeah.
All right, yeah, so no, I'm very much in favor.
All right, so we have a motion?
Yes, sir, I make a motion that we read resolution 2202 by title only.
Second.
Motion is second. Please read.
Resolution 2202, a resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, approving the purchase of replacement dredge from Marine Inland Fabricators in the amount of $688,490.
Motion for approval.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 22-02.
Second.
Have a motion second. Call the roll.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on, number 9. Doug, that's you?
Yeah, that dredge might go in the Hall of Fame, so we'll see. Number 9, this is just something that I want to bring before the council just to acknowledge. The Artificial Reef Association has continued to manage the donations that come into the city of Mexico Beach. Over the years, since 2018, December 2018 after the storm, they have processed, and I'm not saying it's all for the Reef Association at all, but they've taken in donations of in excess of $330,000. And it's a volunteer-run organization that has managed that. They also manage the permits that go along with the artificial reefs that we have out in the water. But they manage that for free for us, that money, that 501 where the money runs through. Just recently, they had an article in the paper that came out where they came and brought a check. They brought $10,000 to the city from some donations. 2,000 of it was specifically donated from the pier. So the money that the lady's raising for the pier continues to come in, so we put that towards the pier. The other $8,000 was not earmarked for anything, and she recommended we could use it how we need it. I have earmarked it with Debbie for the public works projects and things that we're working on there to do with the fact that we have no dump trucks still from the storm and things like that. So that's kind of the direction where we pushed it to. So I just want to make sure I publicly say thank you for them for all their hard work. They do hold their annual meeting or their meetings monthly in our conference room. So we make sure we have a space for the Coxes and the people on the committee there. But I just wanted to say thank you, and they've done a great job for the city of Mexico Beach.
They do a grand job.
It's a lot of money in process to keep track of, so they do a great job tracking it, the spreadsheets, and you can see where every dollar has come and gone. And they do that for free for us, so that's very nice. And the money was already deposited as soon as I got it.
The reef and the dredge is a big part of Mexico Beach.
Yes, sir. And the pier, the lady that's working with the music concerts around and raising money for the pier on T-shirt sales, I spoke with her. There's a possibility that she might be able to do something here down the road to help in Mexico Beach as well. So we're looking into that option too. But very giving people.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, project list.
All right, so I'm going to shoot through some of these pretty quickly. on the project list, 8th Street bathrooms. Survey's been completed. We're getting ready to move that on to the design phase for the 8th Street bathrooms. The 15th Street culvert is done. We're just pending the deductive charge change order, so there was money left over. We have to get that back to the, we haven't spent it, but we have to take it out of the contract, so we're finishing that up. 15th Street bid repairs, that's around the corner there for that bridge and the guardrails and things that are messed up. That is out to bid currently. Dewberry is working through that one. The 800 megahertz radio tower, we finalized, as you know, the 25 acres behind City Hall here, where the power tower is going, the 800 megahertz tower. Now I'm working on an easement that I'll bring to the next council meeting with Duke Energy. They finalized that late last night. I didn't want to put it on the agenda today, but they finalized the easement so they can run the pole and the power to it, energize it, and we can get the ones out of our backyard here. So we'll have that at the next council meeting. I'll have that easement coming to you guys for a review. The additional boat ramp parking is underway. We've started clearing some land on the 3 acres that we got from redoing our contract on the boat ramp. So we're working on that so we can open up for our season. And the next thing is the boat ramp expansion. So the good news for that one is the FBIP grant portal opens in February. So that's where we're going to start with Dewberry's help. We'll start applying for the monies to help add on that second lane to our boat ramp and continuing that project moving forward that you guys have discussed a lot. Canal dredging, so that's underway. You've seen it. They've been fusing the pipes out there at the boat ramp. First class operation by Crowder Gulf and their team. They got the barge in the water through the crane last week, and that was quite the thing to watch. But that is moving along nicely. I imagine next week they got the hoses all buried, and they work 7 days a week going forward. So you'll see them 7 days a week out there. First class operation. Citywide stormwater repairs. So we received a bid several months ago, and it's in FEMA's review because it was in excess of $5 million for the stormwater repairs from up and down Florida, that area, and repiping all those pipes. So that is under review in FEMA. Citywide street paving, I spoke with Rusty Piggott yesterday. They're finalizing the south side of 98, and I've identified, we met with them last week with Dewberry and myself to go over moving forward on the north side of 98. Some of the highly traveled roads and things like that will be what we're hitting next. Should start somewhere in the neighborhood of 8th, and then as well as Georgia and Maryland. That'll be the area that we'll be in next.
Doug, I've had people ask, and I've tried to tell them, I think everybody's, what we doing with the asphalt that we getting out of the old streets and the boat ramp. Can you explain that a little bit more?
So we collected the millings when they ground up all the streets over in Miramar and all those roads over there on that side of the road. We collected the millings and we held on to them. We have them at the boat ramp. We're going to use them for kind of like an impervious surface on some of the parking that we have around the boat ramp so that we can put trailers on and people don't get stuck. That area actually just to when you're coming in the boat ramp on the right hand side before you get to the ramp, it's kind of a real dirt area. People got stuck a lot. We've already started putting them in there. We're utilizing them around the city. We're also using them to pack in with some potholes and things like that as well. I've probably used them 40 times and we've still got through it. But there'll be more to come, and we'll continue to use those in the benefit of the city as opposed to letting them haul them off and sell them for whatever we're keeping them.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. The DOT right-of-way, Tommy and his team have been working closely with DOT, and they've noticed they've cleaned all that dirt off the sides of the road and the sand. We're actually utilizing that dirt as well. They asked us if we wanted it. I said, heck yeah. So we're putting it at Parker Park and a few other spots around the city to kind of fill in some holes. Some of the erosion that's happened along the side of the roads, we're putting that in there as well. So we're making good use of that. The sidewalks is also getting addressed on the side of the road over there. There's been some tripping hazard kind of things that have happened over time as the road has settled. They've addressed several of them. They've got more that should be coming back very shortly.
They are coming back?
Yes, sir. They're going to finish up those. Tommy, I may have stole his thunder about that one, but yeah, they are coming back. So the jetty is at 95% of the design is done, and the application for permits are pending. So the jetty's moving along. That would help us with our dredge situation too. So we're keeping that moving forward as well. The manhole covers went out to bid, came back, and we had probably 15 people asking questions about the covers and installation, and nobody bid on it. So we put it back out. We're getting ready to put it back out to bid again. This is really, since it's a FEMA covered project, it's the best thing for us to do to show that we're really trying to get it bid. You know, we're doing everything we can as opposed to hiring somebody separately, which is what we could have done. So we're continuing that process. The marina boat ramp pavilions and fish cleaning stations, they're all going along pretty well. Not without the help of several council members and myself of poking and prodding at these guys, but They are continuing to work. The fish cleaning station, I think they're working, the metal's been ordered. I signed off on the PO yesterday. They're installing the roofing system next week. The electrical work's supposed to also happen next week in that building. The boat ramp pavilion, they're doing the stem wall coming up and the rest for the restrooms this week. So that's going to start going vertical. The framing of the subfloor is also going on now. On Canal Parkway, I think they're doing the brickwork right now. Is that correct? I think they're there this morning. I saw
Around the bathroom.
The bathroom. The Canal Parkway, they're pouring the foundation for the footers today. The concrete was spent today. The survey crew is also doing as-built drawings for Dewberry. So Dewberry has to review it and send it to the DEP. So there'll be a work stoppage there for a couple of weeks while we're waiting to hear back. They have 10 days to respond for us. So we're going to continue moving that one forward. But just so you know, if you don't see any action over there, that's because Dewberry has to send it off to DEP to get approval, and then we move forward after that. But they're going to continue to work on the other sites. Parker Park, we're smoothing it out with the dirt. We've got electrical box set up. We're waiting on the inspectors to review it and approve it. And then we're going to move forward with some FEMA repairs, including the bathroom, which is all a part of the same list. So the 8th Street bathrooms, Parker Park bathrooms, and Under the Palms bathrooms are all being surveyed and architecture designed to be the same so that we can hire one contractor to knock them all out and keep it moving forward. So just so you know about those.
The architect is.
It has not been selected, no.
No, it's not.
Thank you.
I think I've said that before, but it has not been selected. So the pier, we're waiting on permits. They've been submitted before Christmas. We should have them hopefully by summer of 22 this summer. That's great progress for us. I know it takes a while, but it's good progress. The police, fire, and municipal buildings. January 14th is coming fast. That's Friday. They said on or before the 14th they would give us a final determination from FEMA, and our state as well has been working closely with them, with Ryan and Dina, and they did a bang-up job showing the dollar figures next to each other and what they were going to go for. They've tentatively offered us $3.3 million. We're working on a way to get that higher, closer to 4.5 or so. So we'll see. With some other money that we have put together, I think we'll be able to move forward. So hopefully we find something by the end of this week. They said they would. Street lights. I've been working with Duke Energy. I know a few meetings ago we said that they were going to start going forward and working on those, but that got held up because they needed to do an entire survey. One hand kind of didn't know what the other one was doing. One thought they were already done, and the other one didn't know that they hadn't been done. So they have to address every street light in the city, do a survey where they all are. They're going to address our bill. We're going to get some credits because they've been charging us for these lights and they've not been in existence since the storm. So we should see a credit coming for that as well, but that's just part of their process. So I apologize that the lights are not going back up. If you see one that's dangerous, let me know, and I'll be glad to address it one at a time. But I need to wait on that survey to come back. So that's where I stand there. Sunset Park, that's a bang-up operation right there. That is moving. They're going vertical. The piles are in, and you can see it right on 98. That thing's going fast. So keep up the good work there. Under the Palms Palmer, I discussed that. The survey and architect is being finalized. The underwater debris removal, I was talking to Ryan about this yesterday. So the NIFWIF is reviewing phase 1, and there's a possibility we can look on to phase 2. So we're working forward with that one as well behind the scenes. The surge gate, I brought it up a few weeks ago, a few meetings ago about the surge gate underneath 98. There were some questions about how it would work, and I'll get you more information on that. We accepted the grant. We haven't done anything with it yet, but we needed to make sure we accepted it. It's $10 million with zero cost to the city. And so we have that going forward so we can work on some conceptual type of stuff on what it would do. That's one that I'm going to add to the list is the surge gate. And then the dredge we spoke about earlier, I'll put on this list as well so we can continue to monitor that. But, is there any questions on any of those? I know I rattled through them pretty quick, but you guys are pretty in tune with each one of them.
Okay, I got a couple on there. Okay. We're going to talk about Parker Park.
Yes, sir.
I think we need to, and I know we did this, I was actively involved in it several years ago with DEP and the Corps about filling in at least a portion of that front moat.
Understood.
I think we ought to reactivate. I think we ought to gather our forces and look at that park is never going to be what it could be if we're going to leave that moat. And if that proves to be a mountain too high to climb, I think we ought to look at putting an elevated event stage over that water.
That's a good idea.
Instead of using our land for, I mean, when you really survey that park, it's the center of our town, it's where things are gonna happen. And as we grow, I don't know what's involved, but I think that's much easier to do than maybe filling it in. I don't know.
We did start that
I'd
process.
like to add that to the list
Okay.
of a, and I think we gotta get past, I don't know, David can probably tell us more, but I see people fill in things around here everywhere I turn around. And when I talk to the Corps myself, I met with them, they would lead you to believe that you say you could fly to the moon. Well, now you can fly to the moon, but I mean, it was unbelievable what they wanted this city to do that. So I just think we ought to reinvent that, put us a task force together or whatever it takes to meet, to find out, and in doing that, also look at putting that event stage over that water.
I agree. I'll definitely add that to the list just as a little bit of update. David might be able to add too, but I just spoke with the Corps yesterday, Mr. and Mrs. Ladart. I think you guys spoke with them before talking about the storm surge water coming in. I started that process with the Corps. I do have a direct contact with the DEP. It's different than the one I think we spoke about before, but this is Michelle Hoare, who's a director for the DEP, and I've worked with her this week and talked about some going forward. So I do have some ideas. David, you started this research.
Y'all collaborate and see
Yes, sir.
what we can do there if it's what's feasible.
I like that
Before
idea.
we move, just assume that what we had before is what we got to live with.
Understood.
I think that's a good idea, Al. I like it. I do too.
Thank you. Next, boat marina. I've talked with Doug about this, but I want to make it official as far as part of the project is. The marina, our marina is one of the most underutilized amenities the city has. We rely on snapper season for people to rent those slips. 75% of them sit vacant the majority of the year. I think we should look at a covered section with boat lifts in those slips. We need reoccurring income there, and I think we can get it. We are a boating community, and there are no covered boat slips over water with boat lifts or premium. And I think we ought to look at what we could do there. If we took a group of 5 or 6 to start with, I believe we could put it out that the city's going to invest in that. I believe we could get rental income. I believe we could get reservations on it. I really do. So I just want us to explore what would be involved, what investment would it be to take 5 or 6, cover them, put lifts in them, see what we can do.
And that's great. I also spoke with the local builder that builds those about some costing and just ballparks. And then David's already looking with some of his staff from Dewberry how to design and which ones we can pick out. So
Yeah,
that ball
good.
is moving forward. So
Then we can get something back and just see how the council feels about it.
yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Moving to department report. Is Debbie on the line?
Hello.
Well, Happy New Year, Miss Debbie.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Are you feeling better?
I am.
Are you well?
Oh, yeah, COVID was, I'm much better.
Good.
So excited for the new year.
There you go. All right, we are at your disposal.
Okay, so I have a few talking points, but then I also have an announcement. So, the talking points, what I've been working on over the last month or so, still working on the fiscal year 2020 audit. I had 71 audit requests just based on that, the fiscal year 2020. Half of them have been done within the last week or so, and then I hope to have the remaining portion of them to auditors by end of next week. We have pushed back the completion dates because we have these new people from the auditing staff that are playing catch up and trying to figure out what the 19 audit had. So we're looking at presentation to council on March 22nd. Well, that gives everybody time to review the draft and make sure there's any final adjustments or any issues we want to contest. So that will give us the opportunity to do that. Working on cash analysis, so which is good news because I should be able to provide the council with a really detailed listing of how the cash accounts are very soon. Working on the fiscal 21 closeout, which is the year we just closed. So I'm still working in tandem with those two prior years. Did all of the final calendar year payroll reports. Should have the W-2s out this week with Mary. Did the 941 reporting and the unemployment reporting. We installed a new time clock, and so there's a software component that I've been working with city staff on to get that information from the new time clock into Springbrook. Closing out the CDBG account, we had that money that we had to refund one of the CDBG recipients, and now that we've got that settled, we're going to return around $22,000 back to the state. Ongoing process FEMA project reconciliation. I'll be able to speak more to that at the next meeting, which brings me to my announcement. I'll actually be presenting at the next council meeting in person. So I'll be there on the 23rd.
Yay. Well, thank you for coming to see us.
Oh, my pleasure. Any questions about any of those items that I mentioned? Or any questions, period?
The only question I have is concerning the audit information. Are we, and I sort of missed, or I didn't comprehend, what did you say about the audit? Earlier you said
Which
that.
one? The 20?
Yes, the 20.
We pushed back the completion date to March 22nd.
That's what I wrote down, March 22nd. Is that for to meet, or is that to get, what's supposed to happen on the 22nd?
That's the auditors coming to the council meeting and presenting the fiscal year 2020 audit.
Okay, they're going to present that.
Report.
Do you have any preliminary on that?
No, not yet. That is it's still prior year where there's a lot of catch-up information that wasn't reported. It's not as bad as fiscal year 19, but it's not as good as fiscal year 21 will be. So we'll have probably almost the same findings as we had in fiscal year 19. That's my prediction.
Okay. All right, that's the only question I have. Anybody else for Debbie?
Okay.
Financials? Look forward to seeing you next meeting.
You too. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sandy?
I'm not rather well. Except my notes are in my truck, so I'll keep it short and sweet. First things first, thank you to everybody that did donate to the toy drive for Christmas. We had a lot of fun giving those out the Sunday before Christmas. Lots of smiles and fun times had with the local kids. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Please let me know for next year so I don't miss you again. Those of you who were involved in the talks with the fire department back in 2016-17 will remember the 3 letters ISO. Well, we had a phone call on Monday. We are being reassessed again for ISO on March 9th. If you do see the fire department out and about with hydrants and there's a large amount of water coming out of it, we're basically flow testing the hydrants. If we do cause a little bit of change in the colour in your water, we apologise ahead of time. It's something that we have to do as part of this test by ISO, which helps us towards your insurance costs. So it's all in everybody's best interest that we get it all right. So again, I apologise in advance should you have any issues with water caused by us doing our flow tests. We'll try and keep it to a minimum. And other than that, it's, you know, we had a good Christmas. There was nothing of significance to report on any nastiness. We enjoyed with the Bay County Sheriff's Office and Public Works at the film night, and we look forward to a prosperous 2022. And if anybody has any questions,
How about the Wheatley? You working on?
The which, sir?
The Wheatley. I know you're not on, not from where you're from.
Oh, the side by side.
Yeah, the Wheatley.
Is that what you call them?
Wheatley.
But it is 100% completed, done, dusted. It's new from inside and out. We hope it will last for many a year to come, but we'll keep on top of the maintenance and try to make it last as long as possible. But I've got more black paint on me, even on my here from doing that. So
We need that piece of equipment. So, and the sheriff, he got one. But that's
no, it's a vital piece, and we just didn't want it to rust and watch it do it. So we put a bit of time and effort into it to keep it in good condition.
They take very good care of their stuff, that's for sure.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lieutenant, you're up.
All right. Like in your packages I provided, my sergeant couldn't be here, but he's here with us now. With the graphics, this is comparison from 2020 and 2021. So, but as far as December and everything, 114 calls of service, miles patrolled 8,066, traffic stops 29, 3 citations, 23 Christmas present warnings, 5 arrests and 0 traffic crashes. So it's December was a little slow month. Everybody was doing their things and holidays and stuff like that. We've only had one thing that's come up here the last little bit. It's under investigation. And it was a room damage at the El Governor Motel. So that's the only thing we're working on right now.
It was a what again?
Room damage.
Oh, room damage.
One of the rooms
They're not even old.
It is probably just criminal mischief, but we're looking at it.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
That's the first one we're looking at.
I got it. To be honest, you should have seen this in color. This was beautiful in color. Marty had.
Marty?
He's the boss.
Great job, Marty. Thank you.
Questions?
Well, just because it jumps out, I'm sure it did to you. The increase in stops, is that just more people not doing what they're supposed to? Is that what?
As
Is that as simple as?
everything's cleaned up on the roadway, it's getting a lot faster and everything else, and we're trying to get it slowed down. And you know, we're still doing a lot of warning citations.
I know. I wanted to thank you for that, and I do see that, and I've heard people. I think I've shared with you before. I've had several people come to me and thank me that they got a warning. And I didn't know how. You know, you don't know how to answer that sometimes, but it always comes with a story. I was, I'm a single mom. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't have, there's always a story. But I think there's merit to that, and I want to thank the department and the sheriff.
We're going to try to, make it a safe place for people to cross the
That's
road
right.
down
I
and everything,
understand.
and slowing them down is one of them.
And tell Martin he did a nice job.
Yes.
Questions?
I'm not there.
We'll have to, this is going to take a while to digest. You can't just.
I didn't include everything. I cut it down just the basics. There was a package.
I understand. Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right, James, you're up. You got a package too.
Well, I'll try to give you an overview of what's transpired from the last 2 years. And in retrospect, it looks like, 21 was kind of like 20. Very similar, some categories were up, some were down. You went from 96 in 20 new residentials to 94. I think, like everybody, if we didn't have COVID and supply shortages, probably all those numbers would be significantly higher.
Show me how you're reading this, because I may be the only one that doesn't understand. I want to look at this, but when you get 96, show what page or how are you reading that?
All right, when you go over to the, I'm looking at the 21. Yeah, it's about 4 pages down. You've got your attached single families and you have detached.
No,
single families.
wait a second. You got to help me.
It'll be about 4 pages deep.
But on which I have two.
You've got two separate.
Type and
Yes, and there are ones for 20 and ones for 21.
okay. I saw that, but where
The next to the last page on the
2021
on the 2020, the next to the last page is what he's talking about the different types of residential.
On 21.
One packet, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's 2 packets, one for 1 year, one for the.
All right, so we're on the next to the last page where it shows residential, attached 24, detached garage 5, detached single family 72. Is that right?
Yes,
Is that where we are? Okay.
And, your single families is kind of a overall, here's your growth, because improvements is really, they're improvements, not growth. And there was 2 less this year than last year. Like I said, I don't think that's significant looking at it, because if you look at some other categories, commercial remodels, you see changes. And some categories are up higher this last year than they were the year previous. It's kind of the same.
Growth is still.
It's at the same status. I don't think it's really increasing, but I think it would be significantly different if we didn't have all the builders, the supply problems, as been already talked about in here.
So 2021, I don't want to make it be difficult. How do I see how many new, does 2021 have a total number of residential new permits?
When 21, the last page, second to the last page.
Second, that's what I thought of. With residential operation.
It shows deck, boathouse, residential, patio enclosure, pole barn, and then the last page goes to modular home. It says subtotal 107. Is that what you're discussing there?
There's not.
You got to be careful what you give us, James.
Yeah, please break it down a little bit.
I've got a better idea. So we can bring this back at the next meeting. Maybe we'll show it side by side instead of 2 different packets.
Let's look at this again.
I'll do that. We'll get that back.
Because I'm very interested, and I think this is great information for our citizens.
We can just put it in the spreadsheet for show an overview and bring it back to them.
All right. It's in terms of just of that, James, my old fingers don't work just right no more, so.
We'll have a good update.
We'll give you a chance. We'll regroup with the way the data is presented to us. Okay? I'm sure you know what it is, but we don't. So I don't. Darryl doesn't either.
We'll take care of it, Mayor.
All right, thank you. I'm more confused than I. Kathy, there you go.
You gotta hurry up tonight. So,
All right.
we got pilings on 98, some of them are all coming up, they're all being demoed. Southern Stingray, the Clarks were in over the weekend, I went and said hi to them, talked to them. They did a lot of cleanup in the front, they said they've got more to do and they're gonna be back in a couple weeks. The house over on Colorado that was collecting some unsightly material, that's all disappeared now. And we cleaned up a house over on Fortner. And we got the gumbo cook-off. We got special events that was all signed. We're all ready.
Awesome. Have we set a date?
19th.
February.
February 19th is the date, okay? Sharon, write that down.
She's Kathy continues to patrol and monitor, and every time we get a call about something, she addresses it quickly. We are switching over to the new attorney, so we're gathering some information. So some of the cases we're working on are moving over to Annie. So moving forward, that's what we're going with.
Great. Thank you. Keep up.
Thank you.
Tommy?
Morning, council. Morning. I gave you a handout. I won't go over every bit of this. You can look at it. Just a couple of things. One, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you, Marty and Sheriff Ford, for the movie we had under the park. I can't explain how great of an event that was. I enjoyed going around there doing that, and to see all the kids, the parents. It was a great thing for the city of Mexico Beach, and I want to see some more of that. We just had a really good time. And everybody won't know who to donate to, and there was no donations. They didn't want anything. This was just something for the community. So thank you to Sheriff Ford, and thank you, Marty, and your crew for making that happen. Doug touched on Parker Park. We're taking the sand that was utilized from FDOT, and we're going to fill in all the low spots, the holes. We're going to make that place nice and pretty. We just put a new power pole down there. We're going to get power hooked up to it so we can do the special events. I think we've got a farmer's market coming up, so we can get kicked back off with some of our events around here. So that's in the making. The dredge, Troy and them worked their hind ends off to get that canal opened back up. We first thought it'd take about 5 days, but they did it in 3. Canal is open. We still got a little more cleanup work to do on it, but other than that, it is usable now. And thank you for the encouragement with the dredge, getting that started. We hanging on by a string with this thing, but we've got a good crew of guys out here to keep that working for us, and we'll make it till we get the new one. Other than that, they are finished with the sand on the side of the road, but Mayor, they are going to finish the sidewalk transitions. They got to come back and finish those, so they are not through with those, so they will get those for us. It's been a pleasure working with Martin Burris with FDOT. I won't get into the story how I met him, but he is an asset now for the city of Mexico Beach. Just about anything I call him and ask him to do, they send a crew over here and do it for us. So, other than that, I do want to take a second to say we've got Martin Luther King Day coming up on the 17th, which is next Monday. The trash pickup will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The crews will be off on Monday. So just make a note of that. We will pick up trash. Monday's route will be picked up on Tuesday. Tuesday's route will be picked up on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday will be normal route. Other than that, last month, for the month of December, we had 110,260 pounds of trash picked up for the month of December. So other than that, the city is continuing on. Everything going good, and we do want the employees wanted me to thank all the council for everything they've done for them at Christmas. Had a very nice Christmas. We had a nice Christmas party, and they were very appreciative of that. So thank all of you for that. Any questions for Public Works?
Where's my credit card machine?
You'll have to talk to Doug about that.
I'm talking to you.
I don't know where the credit card machine is at.
Where's my credit card machine at?
It's on order. It's guaranteed to be here before March, so we got the pad formed up and the spot where it can be, where it won't have to get moved.
That's why I was asking Tommy. I knew he was pouring the slab.
We're forming it up. We're actually going to pour the rest of the sidewalk there in front of Paradise Shores that got messed up by the contractors. We're going to do both of those pours at the same time because it's going to cost us 3 yards of cement one way or the other. So we're going to get both of those at one time.
Computer chips are.
And I would like to tell you thank you for my little additional boat ramp parking over there, finding the stops and doing let the city do it.
We're coming along very well with that, and before snap season, we're going to have plenty more parking.
I hope so.
Yes, sir.
I know Doug mentioned something, I must have missed what he said, the street lighting, what's the?
Doug brought that up a little bit while ago. We've been in contact with Duke Energy. Duke, for some reason, thought that all the lights had done been replaced, and we let them know that they hadn't. We're still missing lights on your street. We're missing lights on California. Doesn't even have a light on it. So they went back, and they're having to go back now and figure out where the lights were supposed to be, and then get them started. Now we do have confirmation that they are going to start on over on your side of town, because that is the place that has very, very few lights. Some of the lights will replace different places, but Texas, California, I don't think there's any lights on either one of those streets. So
The crosswalks, what's the latest on that?
the crosswalks, we were waiting on getting the flashing lights before we done anything. I spoke with council, and council recommended that not do anything until all the parts were here. They are getting the parts now, starting to get that in. So Martin did tell me the other day that we should be able to start on getting those put in shortly. So once they start, it won't take them long. They'll come in and do everything at one time. So I will check with him on that this coming week.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Glenn, what you got for us?
Good morning.
Morning.
We'll let you know we've got the emergency generators, the water plant back online. We've been gathering information and itemizing the losses presented bills and Piggott, the company that hit the power line. No word yet on the revised consent order. We will know more how to proceed with cross connection control when we review the consent order. Any of you have any questions or anything?
Explain that. Review the consent order.
They're going to send us a revised consent order.
Oh, they're going to send us a revised.
For our review and discussion.
Are they displeased with us?
Well, we wouldn't be under consent order if they weren't.
Well, we're
working towards that, and they've been great to work with, and we are in the process of trying to comply with the consent order.
We had to give them some time frames to work with. Are we approaching or past those?
Some of the deadlines have passed, but we're kind of dead in the water until we get the revised consent order and see where they're at. They're giving us an opportunity, and they're willing to work with us.
We're working on some internal policies going forward as well for new ones that come online and how to bill and that kind of stuff. So we're not, I'm not going to say we're not in trouble, but we're trying to get it corrected, actively working with them. So they're being patient with us.
I see they're busy, because other municipalities are dealing with this.
They're patient with us.
Some less patient than us, and some just being plain defiant, or trying to be.
We're trying to keep a line of communication up and working.
Good, we should. We should.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Good. David?
Sir.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see y'all. Well, Mr. Doug and I met yesterday and kind of reviewed my project. He's already kind of given an update, but I can go over it again if you want. I will say that you mentioned the Park fill in that canal part. We had reached out to some of my environmental folks, which you very, and they've talked to some of the Corps of Engineers people, some of the same people that were involved in 2017. And they did say it was an unusual ask, but they can't really tell us what's going to be involved until we actually make the formal submittal. So we can move forward.
Yeah, I've tried that. I've tried an informal.
Yeah.
Won't you talk to me about it? And I that just didn't get. We couldn't get anywhere.
Right.
We couldn't get anywhere. Nobody wants to tell you anything.
Right. Well, no one's going to make a commitment to anything. Yeah. We did do in 2017 or 18. I think you very good kind of a construction cost estimate of what it would take to fill the limits at that time. I think it was pushing $500,000. And I think Doug even mentioned maybe extending that fill further out. But I'll work with Doug and we'll figure out the best way to move forward.
Okay. I think it merits, and like I say, if we relook at maybe where we might put something over the wall, they may not have near as many concerns.
Right, yeah, there'll still be some hurdles.
Oh, yeah, I know it. There's hurdles. If you mention their name, they're hurdles. I think that has, I'd like for us to at least explore that.
First time I've heard that, that's a good idea.
One question I'm asking, and I wrote it down in my notes months ago, Sunset Park.
Yes.
The potential or the projected, when will that be ready? What is their contract date?
I believe they said March or April for this year.
March, yeah.
March? Okay. Are we pleased with the other, or are we pleased, you, Doug, with what's going on at the boat ramp in the pavilion?
I think we're gonna be amateur dentists at the end of this, because we keep pulling teeth.
It's not easy.
But, okay.
But we're moving forward. I mean, we're moving them forward, and I think they're getting in line. I mean, they see what's going on.
We think about it, the year's turned, spring will be here before we can, we're just gonna walk in here and say, hey, spring's here.
I woke him up a little bit when I told him there was a bet going on at Park to Park, or Sunset Park would be finished before the other one. That kind of rattled me a little bit, so.
Okay. I know, I'm just raising that question because it's a vital facility.
We have a lot of the boat ramp with the crowd of Gulf, and they put the top together now, and they got the millions there, but we're all working on it, so.
Good. Thank you, David. That's all I have. Anybody else about any of the projects?
One thing, you see, we're working with Doug with some new wall art. That is not necessarily finished. There's some partial lines that need to be populated, but that file itself, I can add, take away, whatever y'all want to add to it.
Well, you're gonna have to extend the page over there.
Yeah, we can go another 4 feet. The printer will let me go another 4 feet.
Oh, okay, because St. Joe's coming down there. And the gas station.
Yes.
Yeah, they're making great progress.
They are?
We're hoping to have a nice frame version of that so we can identify.
But I like
parcel.
that. I saw one sitting over in the conference room. Yeah, good job. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Ryan, you're up.
Morning, everybody. Like David, I think Doug covered a lot of the stuff I was going to go. Actually, give me one of that. Sorry. Covered a lot of stuff I was going to go over today. One thing he didn't mention, I submitted a bunch of reimbursement packages. We're at the end of the year, totaling up to about $1 million total for Marina Boat Ramp, Seaway Streets, and 15th Street box culverts. So that'll be good. That's $1 million coming our way down the road once it gets reviewed. Doug talked about the bid dredge already. You guys approved that, so that's checkbox there. And he mentioned that phase 2 dredging's going on. They're getting moving on that. I'm sure you guys have seen that over there. And then lastly, mentioned the municipal complex. We've been working with them. I was just talking to the state yesterday. They're trying to kind of figure out what the priority points are that they're going to try to intervene sort of on our behalf with FEMA on, see if we can get that dollar figure up at all before they issue the determination memo by the end of the week. Doug sort of glazed over this one, but this essentially on the NIFWIC grant for the underwater marine debris removal. We've got the phase 2 grant application in there. Normally they don't start reviewing that until they've closed out the phase 1, which was the survey stuff that David and Dewberry did. But I talked to them and they said they'll start kind of doing them in parallel here, so hopefully that'll speed up the process just a little bit. But they still won't be able to issue us any funding until they close out phase 1. So we'll still be waiting on that, but keep working on it with them on that. And then at the end of December, we got about a $500,000 payout, so paid out amount is up to $79 million now. Any questions?
You have jetty extension. I don't see that on here. Where are we now?
Dave, you probably you got an update on where the design is?
Yeah, so they're about 95% done with it. I talked to them last week. They're preparing the permit applications for the city signature. We'll be sending those over here shortly.
Are you talking about design?
The design.
Is that what you said? Okay. Y'all are doing that? Who's doing the design?
MRD is. They're subsidized.
They're subsidized, yeah.
Okay. And that's an obligated project?
Hasn't been obligated yet, but the construction has been obligated, the A&E has been obligated.
Has been obligated?
Yeah. So they're,
How
so
you,
we'll get-
what, help me, how you feel about that? Are we?
I think I mean, it's an environmental review on the FEMA side, so, I mean, that's something that they're gonna be part of what they ask on the environmental side of things, like, are the permits getting done? Have you guys gone through all the proper agencies? So, I mean, obviously, those guys are going through all that, so it's gonna be one of those things where I think they're gonna do it basically.
Do you know the distances off the top of your head of where,
I don't.
how far we're extending or proposing on the east side and the west side?
Not off the top of my head. I can find out.
No, I was just wondering. I can't remember either. Okay. Questions for Atkins? Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, and then lastly, Mr. Turner, you have any comments? Are you sort of are you not sure? You maybe walk into this.
I don't really have any report to give. The only thing I would like to say is I'm happy to be here, and Doug and the staff are doing a great job of bringing me up to speed on what the issues are. I got quite a list of them here already just for today, and I look forward to moving forward with everybody.
Right. Great. Welcome aboard again. Thank you. Doug, you have any?
I have one more.
I knew you did.
I have one more thing. It wasn't on the project list, but it was something you asked me to bring back to you. And I apologize to some of the folks that are here from the Pickleball Association and local here.
They've been patiently
I know.
waiting.
I got a couple texts. I know. Out of respect to them, I do know they have to go as well. But I've been working getting bids, as we discussed before, when they came and spoke about what they were looking forward to and some opportunities. And your direction to me was to try to come up with a plan and a path forward to bring it back to you guys to review. I don't have designs to look at. However, I do have, it was very hard to get a quote. It's not a big enough project for some of these folks that do these courts to come here. So 2 people actually said they wouldn't bid it for me, which counts as getting a bid. But the third person I met on New Year's Day came in here. He's actually from this area, but works up in Georgia. He said, "Go Dogs." And he is very eager to move forward because, of course, it's snowing up there where he's working, so he's eager to come down here and work. He gave me a quote for the total project. So when we discussed before, we talked about the possibility of taking the tennis off of the current court and moving it over where the basketball court is, and then creating 3 pickleball courts on the current tennis court, if that makes sense to everybody. So the gentleman must have known how much money I got donated from Duke because that's kind of how it came in. But first of all, Duke Energy, I reached out to those folks and Danny, and they gave us $10,000 we received last week as a donation to help pay for the pickleball courts. He said, "How much do you need?" I wish I would have said 50. I said 10. And the cost of materials has gone up, but I got $10,000. I got $10,000, and I told him I put the Duke Energy logo on the center of the courts, whatever he wanted to give me another 10. So that was nice of them to come through with that money for us. So that kind of helps this conversation. So just to do the both courts all together, my quote was like $22,000. I wasn't prepared for a number that large to do both. That was the pie in the sky. If we moved the tennis court to one and we restriped it with a couple backup pickleball courts on that side as well, we left the basketball courts, and that was the pie in the sky. That was both courts at the same time. The recommendation from him was to do the 3 courts on one side, hold the tennis court temporarily, don't set that back up yet, do the 3 pickleball courts, see how it goes. He promises when you do 3, you're going to want 10. That's what he says. But he recommends to do the 3 courts, finish the surface on the current tennis court, the 3 pickleball courts. His bid was like $9,900, and there'll be 3 different colors, just like. And I reviewed this with the committee that the pickleball group put together. I met with the judge and Richie, and they're all, a couple of them are here in the back, and what they were wanting, and the design to look like it. They're happy with the way we have it now, where we could create 3 tennis courts. We still would have to, 3 pickleball courts. And we would have to come back with staff and work on some fencing in between, but that's phase 2 of the project. Phase 1 is what they're happy with. Permanent poles in the ground, pickleball poles in the ground, line striped, colored, ready to go. They're as excited as they can be with that design. We have the money for free from Duke Energy, and I recommend moving forward with that. The only thing that I do want to continue to work on is the tennis court situation. So we would have to work on the money to pay for the tennis court to put it back on the other court where the basketball is right now. So that would be kind of like a multi-use court. And it looks like it's in the neighborhood of another 10 grand to do that as well. So if we decide we want more pickleball courts, or we want to go back to tennis, or maybe just keep it basketball and back up pickleball courts, that's still up in the air. But we can do the 3 courts, we can satisfy the masses, and they can continue to set up their portable ones on the other court if they have overflow. But they were super excited about the opportunity, and if they had to add anything, but they would love to have their 40, 50 people out there playing and before the season gets going. And this gentleman could start sooner than later if you guys are ready for me to go forward. It's been a long meeting. I apologize.
I think it's easy to say, I think it's an easy no-brainer thing to say, somebody gave us the money, let's do it.
Got the money, let's go. Right?
You know.
That's 2 mullets,
I guess
Gary.
my question, why wouldn't we? We made $100 off the deal. He said, give it to him back.
I couldn't believe it. That sounds like 3 mullets, Jake.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Then look at phase 2 in terms of what, maybe digest that some more and figure out what might.
Yeah, we're gonna want some kind of covered area eventually that our staff could probably construct so they could have some shade on that. That's why they're only doing 3 pickleball courts on that one instead of 4, so that they can have a shade sitting area. And it works. So I appreciate it. If you guys are good, I'll move forward and work on it with a contractor and get it going.
Hey, I'm good.
Sounds good.
Moving on.
Thank you, guys. I don't have, only thing else I need to say is we're closed on Monday the 17th for observance of Martin Luther King Day. That's this coming Monday. Tommy talked about the trash service that moved. And Mr. Driver has resigned from the P&Z board as of last night. And he does know somebody who might have to replace or to move forward to replace him, but right now we still have 2 alternates, so we only have 1 spot open on that board. But it is a great loss. Mr. Driver's done a great service to this community over the years and his history, and he said he'd come back and harass us a little bit, so he'll still be around.
So we will need them following our procedures to put that out that we have it on.
Yes, sir.
And you're gonna ask one of the alternates to, how we're gonna move that.
That's going to be the recommendation is one of the alternates to move on to the open spot.
Okay. You'll bring that back to us?
Yeah, if somebody is willing to become the new chair of the current group, and I believe there is. There was some talk last night. We just kind of wanted to get that over with and move to the next meeting. They'll work on that.
Yeah.
That's all I have, sir. I'm talked out for it.
Council comment? Anyone? Sharon?
I got one thing I gotta say. I just gotta say it. Go Dogs!
That's what I was going to say, Bobby. You done it. I can't help because you're a Gator fan.
Not last night. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. I hear you.
We'll pray for you, Al.
And Tom.
Yeah, we need some praise. Anybody? You got anything?
No, sir.
I'm through.
Motion for adjournment. Thank you everyone for coming.